Hello internet family, Dan here from DansTube.TV, and today I'm revisiting the Mavic 2 Pro after 6 months. So these are my thoughts after using the Mavic 2 Pro for 6 months now. Is it worth your time? Is it worth your money? Should you think about upgrading, or maybe wait until the next drone? Keep watching the video and I will let you know everything that I have experienced so far, and hopefully I can help you come to a decision on whether this is worth your money or not. I will have a link in the description below to check out the Amazon listing for the Mavic 2 Pro. Check that out for some really awesome deals. It will vary depending on what location you're accessing the website from, but check it out and you will find some awesome deals on the Mavic 2 Pro for the Fly More kit and also just for the drone on its own as well. So since the Mavic 2 Pro has come out, we've had a few little updates, nothing ridiculously amazing or drastic that I really want to mention too much, besides the waypoint feature that they've added to the hyperlapse mode, which is actually a really cool feature. It allows you to set up a waypoint and then create a dynamic hyperlapse from the waypoint. So a very cool feature. I was genuinely expecting them to do an update to offer 4K 60 FPS, which they've done previously on the Phantom range, and I believe they're not going to do that at the moment, maybe just to ensure that they don't eat into the Phantom 4 Pro sales. But it's crazy because the Osmo Pocket with such a tiny camera can shoot 4K 60, so we know that a 1-inch Hasselblad sensor is capable of doing this. It just seems like they're limiting this to ensure that they don't eat into their higher market drones. That's just a personal opinion though, but let me know in the comments below, do you think they're holding this back? Do you think potentially there will be a 60 FPS update when the new Phantom comes out? Will they wait a little bit? Will they not release it on the Mavic 2? I'm really curious about this because it's an interesting, very interesting business choice here. And we all know it's capable of shooting 4K 60 frames per second. Getting into the nitty-gritty now of the Mavic 2 Pro, the first thing that you will notice over the original Mavic is this massive 1-inch Hasselblad sensor now. Now the camera is capable of 4K 30 frames per second. You also have 1080p at 120 frames per second, so it does really nice slow-mo and it does really nice 4K, but like I mentioned, it doesn't have 4K 60 at the moment. You do have adjustable aperture though, so you can go from f2.8 up to f11, and the color science is beautiful from this camera here. However they do the image processing, however they've set up that color science, it's beautiful from this camera here, and I'm really impressed with the image. That's one thing that you definitely can notice. It is a significant improvement from the previous Mavic Pro. Now obviously a lot of people aren't happy that it isn't a significant improvement in terms of specs, the fact that it is still 4K 30 FPS, which is the exact same as the original Mavic Pro, but that camera definitely makes a massive difference. The adjustable aperture and just the 1-inch sensor allows a lot more light into the sensor, and it's just a really amazing camera. So I've been impressed with that aspect, and I really do take my hat off to DJI for producing such an amazing portable drone. The camera is also capable of shooting 10-bit D-Log-M and 10-bit HDR video, which is mind-blowing, and for me personally it's a little too much. I really don't need that for a lot of my YouTube edits, but it's amazing for the filmmakers out there that want to have 10-bit aerial footage, so that's great. For me, it's just a little bit too much to edit, and my computer does struggle a little bit, so be mindful of that. If you definitely want this for the 10-bit, make sure your computer can handle it. The hyperlapse feature works flawlessly on the Mavic 2 Pro, and that waypoint hyperlapse mode is also just amazing. So overall, the hyperlapse functionality is fantastic from the Mavic 2. I was also impressed with the flight time. They quote you get about 31 minutes. I would say you'd probably get 27, maybe 26 minutes of flight time. On top of that, you also do have this amazing omnidirectional obstacle sensing. So it has obstacle sensing all around the drone, meaning that you can just set it up in an automated mode to follow you, and it will avoid everything around you to create an extremely dynamic shot that almost looks like a dolly shot. So very beautiful stuff there, and again, it's DJI taking their technology and just pushing it as far as they can take it, really. The other thing I was really impressed by was the 8-kilometer range, but I was more so impressed by the 1080p video transmission. It was previously 720p, so that means that now we get a more realistic representation of what the camera is actually seeing, and it does make a massive difference having that 1080p video transmission straight to your phone. The 20 megapixel photos from the Mavic 2 Pro are breathtaking, and I was really impressed with the photo capabilities of this drone as well. They also added Active Track 2.0, which is just a slight improvement on the previous one. It now has trajectory prediction, and it also has a faster tracking rate, meaning that it can track faster objects, basically. You have panorama modes, quick shot modes, and everything that you come to expect on a DJI drone now. So overall, the package for this drone here is fantastic. It is probably a little bit too expensive for most people, but it has kind of bridged the gap between consumer and prosumer now, because it's 10-bit on a drone, it's 4K 30, and it's kind of everything that you really need, but it's still not pushing it to that higher end of the Inspire, or what I would assume the Phantom 5 is going to be, which you could imagine would be an improvement on the Mavic 2 anyway. The Phantom 4 Pro is currently very similar to the Mavic 2 Pro, besides the form factor. But the Phantom 4 Pro has 4K 60, and that's kind of the only differentiating factor right now. So that's why I believe they haven't made the Mavic 2 Pro 4K 60 FPS. I think that might change when the Phantom 5 comes out at some point this year, I would imagine. So that'll be interesting to see. They might have an update for the Mavic 2 Pro. Regardless, it's a fantastic drone, and I've really enjoyed getting back into the Mavic Pro again. Previously I had the Mavic Air, and I haven't had a Mavic Pro in a little while, so it's really nice to have this drone. I love the size of it. It's a really nice form factor. The folding functionality is definitely improved on the previous one, although someone did point out recently that the left and the right arm, as you fold them down, occasionally you have a little bit of a resistance almost, and a weird noise that kind of comes with that resistance. So a few of us have noticed that. I don't know if that's within the design process or whether that was our drones, but that's just something to mention, I guess. But anyway, as usual, I am rambling. That's kind of the end of the video here. This is just my thoughts after 6 months with the drone. Overall, I love the drone. I think the camera's amazing. I love the Mavic Pro look, the feel, the portability. I love how it just really commands the sky. You don't really get too much bird attention. You can just safely fly, and it seems to have an amazing range on it. It just has such a flawless process to flying it, and I never have any interference or any issues with it. So it's just a very reliable drone that anyone can pick up and use, and it still is in that pro level, but it still can work for consumers as well, for people who just want to start out getting a drone. This could be a really good drone if you have the money, why not? Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Have a fantastic day, and leave me a comment. I always reply to them. Thank you. Bye.